It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
the Mixed Martial Arts Hour back in your life on this Tuesday, May 31st, 2016. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Halwani inside our New York City studio. Great to be back for another episode of the show. Of course, we were off yesterday. I apologize for that, but these things happen. Although I will say we did give you a lot of time last week, 2 episodes last week. If you missed it, where were you? I think most people by now saw it, or at least heard it. Special Wednesday edition last week with Nate Diaz. Holy moly, that was something else. And thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, who sent feedback, who wrote about it, journalists writing about it. I mean, that was our most watched and listened to episode of all time. We made history last Wednesday on very short notice. Dare I say, we learned last week once and for all, I think, that Nathan Diaz is indeed a needle mover. I think that has been established. I could be wrong, but I think that's been established. So what a week it was from Monday's show with Michael Bisping and Chael P. Sonnen announcing to the world essentially that he was coming back. And then the Wednesday show with Nate Diaz. A lot of excitement, a lot going on, and the fun doesn't stop. This past weekend, special Sunday night edition of the UFC, a great card going into it, and I thought it delivered. And of course, it was headlined and highlighted by Cody Garbrandt's amazing win over Thomas Almeida in the main event. Some great performances from the likes of Jeremy Stephens, from the likes of Rick Story, from the likes of Bryan Caraway, and of course a very polite title shot request from one Sarah McMahon. A lot to digest from that card, but there isn't a lot of time to do so because we got UFC 199 just 5 days away now. Inglewood, up to no good. California will be hosting it. The LA Forum, I was there once, I believe in the 8th grade. I visited that great arena, although they've completely renovated it now. I went to see the New York Knicks versus the LA Lakers. And of course now the Lakers play at the Staples Center, but it's very cool that they're at the Forum and not the Staples Center. I love it. And it's a great card, top to bottom. Luke Rockhold versus Michael Bisping, Uriah Faber versus Dominic Cruz, 2 titles on the line. I mean, dare I say, this is a more intriguing card than most of the other ones in 2016 as far as pay-per-views are concerned. It's great. Fortunately, no BJ Penn. We found out last week that he has been removed from the card due to taking a IV back in March. Talk about that a little bit as well. But let's run down today's show because, like I said, a lot of people to talk to, a lot to get into, and there's no time to waste on this special Tuesday edition of the program. Okay, here we go. At around 2:45, we're going to be joined by Stipe Miocic, the UFC heavyweight champion. Will stop by to talk about becoming champion, and in case you missed it last week, September 10th, 2016, at the Q in the land, Stipe Miocic will be defending his newly won heavyweight title against Alistair Overeem, UFC 203. How about that? 225 will be joined by the aforementioned Uriah Faber just moments before he takes off for sunny Los Angeles, so we appreciate him stopping by. At around 1:45, we'll be joined by Luke Rockhold, who's already in LA, I'm told. So we'll talk to him about defending the title against Michael Bisping. 1:25, we'll talk to Chris Weidman in his first interview since having to pull out of UFC 199 and talk to him about the neck injury, where he goes from here. At either 2:05 or 3:05, we'll talk to Bryan Caraway. Unfortunately, Paige Van Zandt had to reschedule. I was told she's dealing with some personal issues and totally respect that. So we won't be hearing from Paige today on the show, but I can assure you we'll be hearing from the runner-up in this past season's Dancing with the Stars sometime in the near future. So no sweat there. Waiting to hear back from Bryan. I'll give you an update when we will hear from Bryan, but we will hear from Bryan at some point in the program. But first, and of course we'll hear from you guys throughout the show, and in the back end of the show, we'll take your questions and comments. But first, let us go to the phone lines and welcome in the man who stole all the headlines on Sunday night. He was the main event. He called his shot on this show last week. He said that he would finish Thomas Almeida in the first round, and guess what? He knocked out Thomas Almeida in the first round. Cody No Love Garbrandt is on the phone right now. Cody, how are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me and putting me on the show.
Oh, yeah, always. Great to have you. Congratulations on the big win. Are we still on Cloud 9, or have you come back to earth?
Yeah, man. I came back. It was a good win. It was just a win over a very tough Thomas Almeida. I knew the whole camp, and I knew for months. That's why I asked this fight that I could do this to this guy. And then you get the critics and the people that are backing the fight saying this and that. So I knew I was going to do that. It was awesome. It's always awesome to get a win. You get the adrenaline. So you don't really sleep, after the fight. But yeah, I'm grounded and ready to get my next fight, and hopefully it's September 10th in the land.
Okay, we will talk about that in a second, but just want to ask you about Almeida. You said to me afterwards that you tend to fight up to your competition. Like the bigger the name, higher ranked, that's when you shine. Why do you think that is? Why? What is it about you that makes you compete that way?
I really don't know. I spoke to my mom throughout this camp, and I told her this is my fight, that it's I'm going to come out of this fight. This is a high caliber fighter, very tough dude. And so I since I was younger, I always wrestled that way and boxed that way. The tougher the opponent, the more that I shine. I've always been like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my competitiveness. I just get up. I know that there's more to win. It's a win-win for me. I go out there and perform like I know how to perform. And I think it's honestly how I train. I train with the top guys in the world. So for me to go and fight a lesser opponent, I kind of just feel like, I'm not doing this. I fight better people every day. So why should I fight down to their level when I need to be fighting up to my level, which is, the top of the division?
Being in Vegas, big Memorial Day weekend, you're the main event, you're on the posters, you're on the billboards, all that stuff. What was that experience like for you? That has never happened to you in the UFC. This was your first time main eventing. Just the whole experience of having all eyes on you. Everything is revolving around you and your fight. What was that like?
I mean, it was nice, and it was motivating to see, like, the billboards. My girlfriend lives out here, so she was sending me pictures of it, and her friends. Just seeing it all over Vegas was awesome. When I landed to Vegas with Chris, it's humbling. I worked my whole life, I struggled my whole life and dedicated my whole lifestyle to this. And so for these times to be upon me, I kind of just take them all in and live in the moment and not let it get to my head. Just stayed focused all week. I had my teammates there, Justin, Danny, Chris, my brother. We had fun, man. We had fun all week. It was just great, we were cracking jokes, just being the same thing. Like, it was just like another day in the office. Buck was always tell me, he's like, hey, when we're walking out to the cage, he's like, this is a blue mat. This motherfucker's coming to the blue mat. That's just where we spar at. He's like, what would you do if he came in our gym and was on the blue mat trying to spar you? You take him out. That's your blue mat. Go own your blue mat. Go protect your blue mat. And just had fun just the whole week and just lived in the moment and enjoyed it all.
I love that. That is a great motivational tool. I love that out of him. I think you broke a lot of people's hearts. You're spoken for now. You have a girlfriend now. This is devastating news for a lot of people. Why'd you have to drop that? Now all these women are going to stop following you and cheering for you.
I don't know. I hope not. But yeah, she's a good woman. So yeah, we're together a little bit, for a while now. So things are good.
Well, we're doing the long distance thing. How are we doing this? If you're in SAC and she's in Las Vegas.
Well, we fly to each other. I'm here a lot, and she comes out. So it's about 2 weeks. This is about as long as we can go, and then we have to see each other. So we give us that 2 week distance, and then we see each other. And especially in fight camp, that's what we're doing. But now we, don't fight camp, like train out here a little bit and enjoy some of our life.
What happened earlier in the week with Almeida? Explain to me what happened near the elevators. I think you were alone. Was there some kind of altercation?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of the shooter box guys, and it's like, man, like, every time, like, I was alone, or I didn't have to have a crew of 20 walk me around. I'm having fun. I'm heading to get a pedicure with my girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these guys are trying to mean mug me every time I'm by myself. So I just stared at them like they're trying to punk me. Like, I've never been punked. I ain't going to punk me. So I just told them, I was like, they're staring at me, saying shit in Brazil. And I was like, look, so you guys can mean mug me all week. I said, you guys are cowardice, and you don't do this when I have my crew with me. You guys don't even look at me. You guys look at the ground. Because that's cowardly acts. And they just were, obviously the language barrier. But when someone wants to, start shit or get, like a big neck, they're arching their neck up, chin up, like they got a big neck or big chest. So I just put my water down. I was like, we can get it right here. I was like, you're gonna do this shit all week, trying to corner me. I'm trying to show you I'm not a punk. I'll slap all you guys. But it didn't even come into that. To the coming that we just talked, and it was really blown out of proportion. But I mean, that obviously is going to happen when you have two rising stars that are undefeated. That their camp believes in Thomas. The Brazilian fans believe in Thomas. Like my camp believed in me. My coaches believed in me. So obviously you're going to have the hostility and that just you're going to fight on Sunday. So it's that whole week. And I like that. I survive in that environment. That's why I feel like, okay, this is a real fight. This is, he wasn't ultra. It was no reflection on Almeida. Thomas wasn't doing it. I have no ill will towards Thomas. That's why I told him. I said, you're going to make this worse for Thomas. He ain't doing none of this. You guys are. So I'm going to go out there, and he's going to get the repercussion for it. That made me pissed all week. They were trying to punk me all week. But like I said, I just warned their team, like, they better stop doing that. And they still didn't try to, we were passing each other in elevators, and they were trying to shoulder me, this and that, their coaches. And, I'm humble in victory, and I went over there and shook their hand.
Yeah. Are you there?
And not have those skills. We're going to have future matchups.
We're kind of losing you now.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Now you're back. We lost you.
I said that we're going to,
Go ahead.
We're going to have are you still there?
Yeah. We're back.
All right. So we're going to have future matchups, this and that. And there's one coach didn't even shake my hand. So I was like, man, fuck you. What I mean? I want to have come over here and talk to you nicely and give you guys respect. And you can't even shake my hand. I said, you are a coward. It was George Patino. They didn't shake any of our coaches' hand. I said, yeah, you're down and out about your fighting, but show some respect. You just have no respect. That's why, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It was just, we got the last laugh, you know what I mean? They wanted to say this and say that and put a video up of me getting knocked out as an amateur. Getting me knocked out as an amateur, saying I wasn't undefeated as an amateur. I haven't lost since that fight. I did everything wrong that fight. My whole lifestyle changed, everything, and I haven't lost since. I said I'll never fight like that again. And they wanted to put that shit up there all week, and it pissed me off. So, like I said, I was just warning them that they kept it up. Almeida was going to be on the receiving end of the ass whooping.
So you mentioned your team, and you come from Team Alpha Male now. You're a product of Team Alpha Male now, and you've got Justin Buchholz, as you mentioned, and Chris Holdsworth, and Danny Castillo, and of course, like the Alpha Male coaching carousel drama is always in the news. Are you now, like, you guys, and especially the younger guys, Uriah is always talking about, and he's always mentioning you. Are you almost going out there not only for yourself, but to prove that, like, we're okay now? Everything that happened with Dwayne and Martin, like, this team is doing fine. And, when you win, when you look good, now people start talking about them. I'm asking you about them, other media members. Like, you think about that as well? Like, not only do I have to win for myself, but I got to represent for these guys so that they start getting some respect in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. I go out there, I'm not fighting for myself. I never step in there alone. I got my whole teammate, my coaches, my family, my fans, my supporters, out there with me. But yeah, I step in there, I lead up, I weigh everything on my shoulders. But when I take that walk to the cage, it slowly starts to come off, and then my shoulders get loose, and I get loose in there. I step in I get close to the cage, all that pressure comes off, and I just got to go out there and perform. And that's all I have to do, no matter what. I had the hardest camp I had this camp, with some injuries, and just my body just wasn't responding right. I don't know what it was. I was pushing myself super hard. But, my coaches believed in me. He's like, all you got to do, man, all I had to do was show up on Saturday. Show up on fight day and just perform. A lot of people, they can't do that. They can't turn that switch on when the lights are on. And I'm a performer. That's where I perform best, is under the lights. And, but yeah, I had to go out there, just like in February, I had to go out there and knock out, my foe, my adversary in February to get us started. And, we've been on tear. Yeah, we took some lumps here and there, but that happens. But, to get the respect that Justin, Danny, and Chris deserve, I'm a product of them. I go in there and I go every day in there to the classes. I work hard. I'm a student of the game, trying to lead by example. We have a good leader, Ryan Saber, who's 37 years old, has over 40 some fights, been, fighting the top guys his whole career. And he leads by example. He's our leader. He's in there doing the same shit. He's in there going 3-4 times a day, training, and just living that life and, mixed martial arts lifestyle that he preaches to us about living and doing. So if you just follow suit, to someone that's having longevity and success in his career, obviously it's for a reason, So I believe in those guys. They're all UFC vets. They wouldn't tell me. I never question what they tell me. If they tell me to stand on my head for 10 minutes and then go spar, that's going to make me a better fighter, I'll do it, because they're not going to tell me something that's not going to help me. Obviously they wouldn't tell me to do something stupid as that, but
right.
It's just an example. Those guys are so experienced. They all have, UFC fights, and just they've been to that level, so they know what it takes to get there, and they're bringing it out in me.
I don't know if you've been watching the new Embedded series for 199, but in last night's, they actually had a camera, I believe it was at Uriah's house, as a lot of, your teammates and friends were there watching Uriah, Chad Mendez. I noticed significant others, all that stuff, watching your fight and going nuts, absolutely losing their minds when you won. Have you seen this clip? And if so, what's that like to see your friends rooting for you and just having this, this pure joy because of something great just happened to you?
That's funny that you bring that up. I just tweeted that out. Me and my girlfriend just watched that. And you know what? That is like, just seeing that just shows how much, they care about me. I know they always care about me, and they're there for me. They're always wanting to give me rounds or work. And it's a camaraderie. They're family. I don't even look at it as a team. They're brothers, and obviously I have some girls out there, so they're sisters. It's a family.
Yeah.
But it's still just, man, like, that's people that I looked up to, my whole entire life. When I started getting involved in martial arts, like Chad, Uriah, Joe, Danny, all those guys. I looked up to them, so to see them so excited and happy for me with my biggest fight, it's awesome. It takes me back. It humbles me that they're so happy and they invest in me, and not only in the good times, the highs and lows. It can, it's not always going to be, sunshine and rainbows out here. They're going to be there for me, the highs and lows. I've seen that with other fighters and on the team. So that's one thing that I go in there and fight with. I'm not afraid to lose because I know that the people that really care about me are always going to be there with me. I lost a lot in my life before. I've struggled my whole entire life. So I know if I just go in there and fight, and if I lose, I lose. But if I go in there and not perform to my best ability, I'll be more hurt than going out there and getting knocked out or getting beat up. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going out there and chasing this dream and giving it my best. And if it wasn't my night that night, then we're back to the drawing boards. But I'm not okay with not going out there and performing.
Yeah, I loved what Andre Feely tweeted you with the hashtag Outcasts and Underdogs. I think that's great and perhaps describes you guys very well. So, okay, so you mentioned you want UFC 203, you want Cleveland, you want to fight at the Q, you're an Ohio native, you said this on Sunday night. I tweeted, it just seems like a natural, even with the timeline, this makes perfect sense, and now you're on fire. You could be very high up on that card. You've had a couple days now to digest. What do you want for that card? Let's put it out there in the world. Who do you want to fight on September 10th?
Going into this fight with Thomas Almeida, obviously you had Aljamain Sterling and Bryan Caraway matched up too, and they're talking about the winners facing each other. So, I have no doubt in my mind that if Aljamain won, I would fight Aljamain. Bryan won, so now why can't I fight Bryan? Why should I be fighting Bryan for the next in line for a title shot? Or that ranking up there. I just think I got ranked 5th. He's 4th. So, let's fight September 10th. I've seen him do some bannering in the media about how he says I don't deserve to be ahead of him. But look, my win was dominant. My win was no questions. You had a close fight with Aljamain. I went through there and destroyed my adversary in under 3 minutes, who was looked at as untouchable, unbeatable. So I deserve not only to have the title shot in front of him, but he also says that he has the strongest jaw. He has a good chin. That's what he credits himself on. He has a good chin in the division, in the UFC. I have the heaviest hands in my divisions. I'm the hardest puncher, the fastest fighter in my division. So I said, why don't we put those to the test? No disrespect let's fight September 10th in Cleveland at the Q
Yes.
for that number 1 contender spot.
Yes.
Bryan Caraway.
I was hoping that you would answer that. You would answer that question that way. I was hoping that would be your pick. That's the fight I want to see. That's the one that makes sense. Weren't there some talks of you guys fighting not that long ago, or maybe you asked for it, or he was a pro?
Yeah. I asked for it, and we talked about it after weigh-ins. I have respect for Bryan Caraway. Of course, he went out there and proved that he was a fighter. He fought against Aljamain, and Aljamain was beating him the first round and came back and won. But I'm on a different level. I'm on a different level. It's my time. Whoever they put in front of me, I'm going to knock out. So it doesn't matter. But I think Caraway, Caraway's right there. Like I said, going into this fight with us all four in the bantamweight division, that's what I was talking about. Next, whoever wins, the winners get the winners. So I think we should keep that. And come to my home state, got Stipe fighting for the title, or defending his first title defense.
Yeah.
Ohio, we will sell that place out at the Q. I mean, I'm excited. So whoever they give me to dance on that night, like I said, they better have their boots tied tight, because I'm going to knock them out of them. It don't matter. I'm ready to go. I'm more motivated than ever, and I get to fight in my home state, and that's even more motivation just to go out there and perform and give the performance to the fans that's been watching me since I was a kid with the dream.
That is amazing. That's what I want to see. I hope that the UFC is listening. And I'm wondering, after the fight on Sunday, did you express this to any UFC brass? A, fighting in Cleveland, fighting on that card, and B, fighting Caraway. Any talks that you could tell us about behind the scenes where all the deals get done?
Yeah, a lot of people came up to me that were in the UFC and was like, hey, you want the UFC card? He's like, start asking for it. I was like, of course, want to fight in September. I think that's perfect, have 3 fights in 1 year. Last year I only had 2, but I deserve to fight in front of my home state. I deserve to fight Bryan Caraway. He's ranked 4th. He's a top 5 guy. That's what I asked for. So yeah, definitely. They asked, just told me to start talking up who I wanted, and hopefully, we'll get the Caraway fight. And he proved to me that he was a fighter. So I'm not going to talk any shit on him. I'm just excited to go out there and get this win from my hometown. So hopefully, he signs the dotted line and we fight in Cleveland.
I appreciated the fact that you asked the rankers to actually put you in the top 15. You do recognize the fact that it's not the most prestigious. I mean, no knock on them, but if you actually look at the people who are a part of that committee, it's not really people who follow the sport on a day-to-day basis. So I wouldn't take, and you said 5. I looked on the page right now. I still don't see you unless it hasn't been updated or something. I can't imagine you're not going to be in there somewhere. You should be very high up, especially considered Almeida was number 7. But I don't lose too much sleep over that. All right, I just want to tell you that.
Rankings never, what I mean? Like I said, I was not even ranked. I was honorable mention. It doesn't matter to me. I just want some respect.
Yeah.
I go out and knock out, Thomas in under 3 minutes. I just want some respect, man. But I don't, these hype trains that people, have built, you know what I mean? That's what happens. I never was like that. I have always earned everything in my life. You know what I mean? Everything never was handed to me. I'll fight tooth and nail if I have to deserve respect. That's what I want. I know that's another thing. I had to fight these guys to get respect. I'm fighting. I finally got my respect, and like I said, the UFC gave me the main event. I'm a main event fighter. That's what I do. I shine when the lights are on, and I hope that I continue to see that when I fight. And this is just the beginning. I'm getting more comfortable in there. I'm 9 fights in now. About to have my 10th fight. But like I said, a lot of these fighters let people in. I don't know, so more so the company or what, build these hype trains, and they not even that, but they believe their own hype. When you start believing your own hype, that's when you get fucked up. That's when you get beat up. You know what I mean? You got to remember that you're human, and that we're not. We're humans. We're in a sport that that's a reminder that we're humans. So you don't believe into your own hype. That's what happens to a lot of these fighters. They believe into their own hype, and then they start doing things that they haven't been doing, and lose that vision of what got them there. And I'll never lose that vision. And I know I've been on the highest highs, and I've been knocked back down in the mountains. I'm that climber that keeps climbing and keeps climbing. Maybe a slow climb, but keep climbing, and whoever they give me next, but hopefully September 10th, that'd be amazing.
Last quick thing, and just jumping off that point, I mean, you talked about your record. It's an amazing record, 9-0. 8 of those wins have been finishes, KO or TKO. Another one on Sunday, just one decision win. And like you said, you proved your point. And I'm wondering if you are noticing that now. Like you called, I had a cab driver actually email me because he was offended that you were calling some of Almeida's previous opponents cab drivers. But you went out there and proved your point against a guy who was undefeated, who had double the amount of fights that you had going into it. Do you sense a difference now just from, social media, the way people are talking about you, treating you? Do you sense that you have gained some of that respect that you were looking for?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I definitely see that. Walking Vegas, and just the fans, and even the Brazilian fans. That wanted me to get, or messaging me all week that I'm gonna die, and and I really, that then they get converted, and they're like, hey, we're just fans. Like I love people that stick with their fellow countrymen. You know what I mean? He's a Brazilian, or Brazilians came hard, but. Yeah, I definitely got the respect that I deserve. And like I said, I have the utmost respect for Thomas. It's a fight game. I'm not in there to be your friend. I'm not in there to do that. We can fight and have put on a good show for the fans and the crowd and the company. And then we can be cool after that. That's how I am. But I'm a fighter. I take all that. Like you said, I'm saying that he's going to knock me out in the second round. I knew right there he lost the fight. I was already up. I just had to go out there and perform. If you truly believe in yourself, you got to knock someone out in the first round. You say that. You don't say a second round. And that's why I said, with everyone, all the critics saying it's going to be fight of the year, take this fight of the year. I took that. That pissed me off because that means I was going to be in a fight with him. No. I said, when I said to them that it's going to be fight, I'm going to get knocked out of the night I'm going to knock this guy out in the first round. I said, it's not going to be fight of the night. When people were saying it's going to be fight of the year and this and that, that kind of pissed me off and motivated me more to train because I don't want to be, I didn't see them on my level. I wanted to show what kind of level that I was on. And I got to go out there and do that. So just very happy with my coaches and my teammates getting me ready, my family being there for me, and all my fans and supporters.
Well, you proved your point, my man. What a performance. Unbelievable stuff. You called your shot and you backed it up. And that's a great thing to see. It's a great thing to actually watch unfold, especially for a young up-and-coming fighter. You are there. I hope you get that fight. I hope you get the fight September 10th at the Q, home of the Eastern Conference champions, Cleveland Cavaliers. They won't win the title, of course, but, Eastern Conference runner-up isn't too bad.
Oh, come on. We'll text after this and we'll put a bet on it. How about that?
Fair enough. All the Cleveland fans are hating me these days. And hey, good luck to the team, of course. I know, Uriah is a big part of the team. What a way to kick off that week for him. You winning on Sunday and then him fighting for the belt. Good luck to the team. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you very soon. Congratulations again.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, there he is, Cody Garbrandt. Always a pleasure to talk to him. Like I said, called his shot. Remember the name, and he certainly deserves your attention and respect. And, of course, if you're part of the rankings committee, he deserves to be ranked as well. Very quick, Cody's back on. Cody, are you there? Hey, Cody, I just wanted to ask you one question. It was going to piss me off if I didn't ask you. Did you see Roseanne's tweets about you after your win? Roseanne Barr, did you see her tweeting about you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I followed her back and saw that. So I thought that was cool. I'm a big fan of hers. So
What was that all about? Did you know she was a big fan? Do you know her from a previous...
No.
What?
No, I didn't know her. I was honestly surprised. I laughed because we used to always watch the show, me, my mom, and brother, when we were younger. So I was like, we always sat down and watched her on her television show. So it was cool. It was humbling to see that she was a fan of mine, and hopefully get to meet her one day.
It's amazing. Tweeting about your neck tattoos and all this stuff. She loves you. You fight,
yeah.
Your next fight, you have to have Roseanne there. Maybe walk you out. How credible would that be?
Have her as my hype woman. That'd be amazing.
Amazing. All right, that's all I wanted to ask you. It was killing me that I forgot that. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate it.
Thank you again.
All right, there he is, Cody Garbrandt. I just really wanted to ask him about Roseanne. That's it. She was tweeting about him. That was like the highlight of my night on Sunday. Roseanne tweeting about Cody, and not just tweeting about him, like really going strong, really defending him. I love that show. Roseanne was great. I don't think Uriah Faber's ever seen it, but I loved it. Roseanne on Twitter. How about that? Great stuff. What did she tweet? Let me find these tweets here. Roseanne. Where is it? Here it is. Oh yes. So this is what first she tweeted, Cody wins it as I said. She doesn't even write Garbrandt. She just writes Cody. Cody, hashtag Cody wins it as I said. Hashtag neck tats tell you, oh no, excuse me. Hashtag neck tats tell the THA tail. Roseanne she is down with no love. And then she had another tweet. Boy, she tweets a lot. Can't find the other one. That was the main one that I retweeted. Oh, wait. Did I find it? No. All right. Maybe I found it. Did I find it? No. You saw those tweets from Roseanne, right?
Yeah, this is the one. You ready?
Yes.
Cody reminds us of who and what we are as Americans. Badasses. No bullshit. Deliver the mail. Put your money where your mouth is. Comeback champions.
Oh, my Lord.
Cody Garbrandt.
She is just the best. Roseanne. How do you not love Roseanne? If I knew that Roseanne was supporting me like that, though she was in my corner like that, I would shoot for the moon as well. She's great. I used to watch that show all the time. Was it before your time?
Yeah, I used to watch it, but on like Nick at Night, like in replays.
No.
I never watched it when it was on.
I used to watch it when it was actually on. I remember. It was them in the kitchen and all the different scenes with the kids and all that.
Yeah, that sounds like every sitcom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.